Hello and welcome to another video. In today's video I'm going to take some flower shots and I have everything almost ready to shoot. I have a single light here. I don't know if this is the modifier that I will be using, and I have this, what do you call it? Yeah, I have a super clamp on a small wall mount thing. And I have the Z6 here tethered to the laptop. Let's see. So I can see everything that I'm doing. And yeah, I also have the macro lens here. This is a Nikon 105. It's the old, I think F mount even. And this is the 70-200 with which I will start shooting. So the idea is that on this background, I don't know if I want a completely black background. I'm still thinking about that, or I just want some sort of light fading down with the flower on the background. So yeah, I'm gonna take an individual flower here, put it in the super clamp, and then we'll start shooting. I have just an easy table rig setup. This is a keyboard stand, and this is some glass plate from IKEA, and just a single C stand with Godox SL60W. And for the background, I also have some, let's see, I have some foam boards here, black or white, which I intend to use. So yeah, and of course a bottle of water for maybe some droplets, and that's it. That's what I'm going to shoot with today. I'm also recording my screen on the laptop so that you can follow. I'm going to place this camera back in the corner. This is all recorded on the DJI Action 2, which I recently purchased so that I can shoot with this camera and record with another one. So yeah. Alright, so I had this different idea. Why not give this one a go? This is the neck or chain thing on which I can clamp the camera to myself, so you can see what I'm doing from sort of my perspective, I think. Point of view style. So let's see how that goes. Might be something fun or nice to try. Okay. So I have this first flower set up here. And this clamp was too big, so I set it in the smaller part over there. So now let's see if we can get some decent shots from this. Need to kill the lights here, so we don't have any intrusion. Let's see, this one can go way higher. Less on the background. Unfortunately, the light itself, or the stand over there, can't go any lower. Or I have to put the table wider, but then the glass plate doesn't fit anymore. I'm just looking what could be best. To twist a little more towards the camera. Let's start with F8. Over the ISO, it's way too high. F9 could be fine. Let's twist this one around. And let's see what this did. Nice and sharp. too little light at this moment, but we'll fix it. Let's set the light to 50%. You want it to focus in the center. It's quite shallow at this moment, so let's see if we can change that. The movement you see now is from me standing on this wooden floor panel. So it's not ideal. Let's go over here. And where is it? Loading, loading, loading. This is a nice image in itself, a bit dark overall. So I'm gonna see if I can bounce a bit of light back from the rear of the image. I'm quite happy with the background. You can see a nice silhouette from the stem, but not too much. I just wish the flower itself was a bit brighter. Let's see if we can get some proper live view over here. I don't want to be bouncing around on that wooden plate. That doesn't help us. Alright, so at F11 this can go up. That's better already. You can see there are a couple of specks on it. See if we can blow it off with just a little bit of air. There's some stuff coming off. As you can see on the glass, there's quite a bit coming off. It's also from the flower itself, but let's take a look. Let's take another shot. Yeah, the speck over here is gone and a few things in the image itself. So that's nice. If you hear something blowing, that's the laptop at this moment. It doesn't have a 4K screen and this is 4K, so it's a bit much maybe for the laptop. But I think we'll manage. Let's see, let's try a little bit of bounce light. Just get a nice white sheet and just put it behind it. I do think we get a bit more light on the background now. I took it from this to this. I like the more accentuation of the stem and a few of the leaves, but it's too much on the background, so I'm gonna have to turn that one around a bit. Don't get very much from that white thing anymore. It's just very subtle on this side. It's a lot less than this one. I think I'm happy with this as a medium. So let's give that one 5 stars. Let's see what else we can do with this. Let's see if we can get a bit more directional light. I have a snout somewhere hidden. I think it's in here. Yes. Now you only have to see how to get it out. Okay. So this is a snout, and I'm going to try to use it to create a single light beam onto the flower. It's even less spill light as we have now. So let's take this one off. And that's a lot darker. Let's move the C-stand over a bit. Now let's see how that looks. It's very dramatic. Bit too dark. Let's see. My main idea was to have this sort of light coming like this, and then something there to sort of mimic, yeah, what do you call it, sunlight, something in that range. Let's see if we can do it this time. And we can see the live view over there. I'm gonna manually pull this back. Now let's see what that does. Let's hang this over here. It's more subtle than I wanted it to be. You can see a very shallow silhouette here. I mean, it's nice to just see the flower like this. Alright, here we go again. Place it up there, take this one off. Let's try not to kick over the camera. Alright, so this is it now. It's a bit too much on the background, so let's turn this a bit. Let's move this softbox over. Let's wait until the flower is just standing still. It's a bit more already of what I was looking for. Just place this down here for a second. Now we went from this was the snout to this. It's just a regular cone. this nice line in the back from the foam board, reflecting just a little bit of light back in there. And I think I tilted the camera a little bit, so it's off center now. Maybe just move the flower a bit forward to get it more towards the light. It's a bit close on the top now. Let's see if we can change that framing a little bit. Just turn the flower a little bit to get a bit more of the flower in frame. I think I like that look more. It's more pronounced. Yeah. I like the sharpness. Maybe a bit more so that the flower is a bit sharper. So 2 stops. And do we have to do it in live view? Okay. A little bit more light. It's very close to the top of the frame. I'm gonna see. Zoom this out a bit. Let's give that another shot. So we have a bit more sharpness in this. Better. It's less moody, but it gives us more range to work with. So now let's do one with the board again to get this small highlight on the back of the stem. Just a little bit. To give it a little bit of extra. A bit further back. And I really like that one. Alright. So let's give that 5 stars. Yeah, we started off with this one. I really like it because of the dark mood, or how do you call it? This one's very harsh, but gives a very nice fade away of the flower into complete darkness. But I end up with this one. It's giving me the most range to, work with the image. As you can see on the histogram, it's not very hardly lit, how do you call it? But this gives me enough range to work with for the style and sphere that I want to create with it. Because I tend to go darker in my edits. But yeah. Okay, and now for the final piece, of course, let's put some water on it. Create some nice droplets. The spray bottle is set to fine, so that's good. It's a very nice droplet pattern. I hope the super clamp keeps working normally, but we'll see. Live view, okay. Let's take the remote and our reflector foam board. And now we have this very nice flower with a droplet pattern on it. I really like this one. It just gives it that little bit of extra. It's more sparkly. So yeah, that's the first one. I'm going to continue as I have a couple of more flowers here, as you can see. So I'm gonna play around a little bit with that, and I'm just going to time lapse through it so you don't have hours of video to watch. Yeah, let's continue. Alright, so I'm done shooting now. Let's see. My laptop had a bit of an issue recording the 4K screen, so the recording cut out somewhere after 40 minutes. But these are the final images, and yeah, I'm really happy with how they came out. I did a dry shot and then I sprayed some water on it, just like the water spray bottle. So to get a wet looking shot with all of the nice droplets in there. And I did this for a couple of flowers, a couple different ones, and they really came out great. Yeah, I ended up, let me take a look at this. As you can see here, there's still some part of the super clamp behind it. I changed it up by adding how you call it, foam board in between. So now you have the flower on this side. So here's the super clamp holding the flower, and it protrudes to the foam board. Having a 2 light setup, 2 strip boxes, just as I take my portraits, to get nice even light. Yeah, fading off in the center, creating a hotspot. Peter Hurley style for flowers, so why not? Let's turn the light on, actually. Okay. And yeah, I'm done, and I only, because I didn't use all the flowers, but the ones I used I sprayed wet. I did try to dry this one to also have the final shot with it, but it's hard to reuse them once they are wet, because you can't dry them completely and water goes into them. And yeah, so after I took these first shots, I went, yeah, these are just some first straight portrait style shots they're going to be. And then I started with the stationary shots in the center with a dry one and then a wet one. This is the first one, it still has a C-clamp, and then here I have the foam board, and I added the center, and this is the setup which I finished with all the other flowers. Just that first one I couldn't do it over because I already sprayed the flower wet, so I did do another one with the wet flower just to have it, but I don't have a dry one of this. But that's the logistics, playing with water and flowers, and yeah, I really like how these came out. So I can't wait to edit those. And that's going to be the next step. So yeah, let's continue on the computer side. I shot everything with the 70-200. I didn't end up switching to the macro lens because it would be too long with flowers out, changing lenses. And I wanted to have them looking as close as possible all together, and yeah, sort of a carousel which you can go through in the end, with all the same style and setup and position of the flower. So that's why I didn't and why I didn't change lenses in between, and the setup as minor as possible, or as little as possible in between shots to keep it consistent. Yeah, so let's see, still recording. Yes, that's it for this part of the shoot. I'm going to continue now in the computer. We're going to take everything into Lightroom, Capture One, or Photoshop. Here I worked with Capture One to capture everything. It's really great software for tethering and really easy to use. But Lightroom has had some awesome updates, and yeah, I still have to check that out. I think the main processing will be done in Photoshop. So let's continue to the computer. So I will go over the editing process really quick. As you might have seen by the timer in the right bottom corner, it took quite a while. It altogether took about 6 hours total. Yeah, it spread over a couple of days. So it was quite a bit of work, and this is just the first collection with the portrait mode images. I haven't even touched the other images. So that might be a different video, I don't know yet. I exported all the images from Capture One and edited a TIFF file in Photoshop. And for every flower I did a basic selection, and yeah, then I all merged these 6 flowers, which I ended up with, into one Photoshop file with the same background for every single one of them. Just a nice dark gradient that really portrays my style. So yeah, that's the main editing process. Just I, so to say, cut out all the flowers from their backgrounds and place them on a nice gradient. And for the final touches, I also used the camera raw filter in Photoshop itself. And yeah, just a couple layers of touch-ups and, you know, removing some blemishes, and that's it. So I really like how this whole collection came out, and now you can use one set of flowers to make a whole collection or portfolio from it. As mentioned, there's another collection coming. I still have to edit those. It's gonna take a while, a lot of time needed for that. And yeah, this is the final result, these 6 images for this part. And let me know what you think in the comments below. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more of my future content. And if you have any questions regarding anything, materials I used, processes I used, feel free to ask them. That's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and have a very nice day.